Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Olajide Bello. Remember, you can watch this broadcast live on our social media handles displayed on your screen. President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Beijing, China for his official visit. The presidential aircraft touched ground at Capital Airport, Beijing, about 9 a.m. local time. During the visit, the president is slated to engage host President Xi Jinping on how to improve the bilateral cooperation between the two countries, after which memorandum of understanding would be signed. Besides his meetings with Chinese business leaders, President Tinubu will visit Huawei Technologies and the China Rail and Construction Cooperation as Nigeria looks to construct the Abuja-Ibadan rail line. State House correspondent Musbah Danwaha reports that the president, who is also the chairman of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, will on Thursday, 5th September, participate at the opening ceremony of the Forum of China-Africa Cooperation at the Great Hall. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, is in Bali, Indonesia, to represent President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as head of Nigeria's delegation to the second Indonesia-Africa Forum. Salu Gwanara gives us an update ahead of the event.
Nigeria and Indonesia are like two sides of the same coin with decades of friendly business relationships. Indonesia-African Forum is another opportunity for Nigeria to boost its networking for economic growth and create more jobs.
Nigeria is open for business. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been very consistent in that. He has said that all investors are welcome to Nigeria. We are putting a Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council to help businesses outside Nigeria to come and flourish in our country. Nigeria, more than ever before, is ready for businesses. Unlike before, you don't have fear that your monies or your capital could be trapped into the country. Once you come, you do our businesses, provided it is within our legal procedures. Whatever profit you make, you take out. So we encourage everyone, not just Indonesians, all investors around the world to come to Nigeria.
The President's delegation assured that the current administration remains resolute to promote even business opportunities by would-be investors in Nigeria.
This is part of the reason why we are here, to deepen that collaboration, to deepen that understanding, so that there will be a reciprocal business relationship between Nigeria and Indonesia. Nigerian businesses are expected to also come here. And like I said earlier, over 50 businesses of Indonesians are already operating in Nigeria. We want to see that reciprocated here. We want to see Nigerian businesses come here. At the end of the day, Nigeria and Indonesia will all be better for it.
In addition to the main event, Mohammed Idris assured that Nigeria's investment potential will equally feature prominently through bilateral engagement with relevant investors. In Bali, Indonesia, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
And the federal government has formalized a partnership with the African Fertilizer and Agri-Business Partnership with a view to improving the food security of the country. The initiative was signed under the supervision of the Office of the Vice President and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. Musa Babaliu reports.
The Agricultural Input Resilience Program is designed to identify and address critical challenges of availability, affordability, and quality of essential farm inputs across Nigeria. The program will be implemented under the supervision of the Office of the Vice President and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security.
Our collective aim is to achieve domestic food security, enhance export growth, and create sustainable job opportunities. This initiative aligns seamlessly with the strategic goals of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, where they emphasize the importance of understanding our diverse landscapes through stakeholder mapping.
The signing of this Memorandum of Understanding marked another milestone, symbolizing the collective efforts to strengthen Nigeria's agricultural sector. Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliu Sabi Abdullahi, said the program will play a crucial role in shaping future government policies in the area of input supply.
We will begin to now decipher and bring out the core areas of need that the farmers want, and we can begin now to more or less target the people who ought to benefit from what we are doing.
Also, there's a need for more capacity development amongst those who distribute fertilizer. So agri-dealers or agri-retailers, hub agri-dealers have to be capacitated to be able to play more of a role in extension to help the farmers understand what is the appropriate product to be used on the appropriate crop.
The initiative is believed will enable the Nigerian government to leverage partners' expertise to build a more resilient agricultural sector. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu.
Meanwhile, in a major move towards mechanizing agriculture in Osun State, 31 new tractors equipped with full implement have been distributed to farmers by the state government. The governor handed the tractors and other inputs to farmers at the Agricultural Input Supply Unit in Ede, Osun State. Femi Afariogun reports.
The first phase of 31 new tractors with critical farming inputs, which include 60,000 herbicide, 80,000 cashew seedlings, 8,000 cassava cuttings, 8,000 vegetable seedlings, and 50 bags of lime, is to boost crop production in Osun State. These investments are part of a larger vision of Governor Ademola Adeleke to empower Osun youths and ensure that agriculture remains a viable and sustainable industry in the state.
No leader with conscience will be happy that his people are struggling to make ends meet and feed their families. We have set our target at this critical sector, and we are ready to make the required investment in this regard.
For farmers, the move is a positive one after waiting for years for such initiative.
The past 12 years, the challenge for us is that we don't see any tracing of farm input. We are so suffer because there's no where we can get a tractor to use for our farm.
There is a further commitment in the coming days of 8 billion naira for the acquisition of additional tractors and farm clearing equipment, along with another 2 billion naira for farm input support by the state government. From Aisu in Osun State, Femi Afariogun, NTA.
Away from agriculture, Manyara Bridge in Mashigo local government area of Niger State, which links the north and southern parts of the country, has collapsed following heavy rains that lasted several hours. Kabir Abdullah reports that the disaster also washed away farmlands and rendered residents of the affected communities homeless.
The Manyara Bridge, located on New Busamoko Highway, is also a major link to about 50 other communities in both Mashagu and Magama local government area of Niger State. Farmlands and about 100 houses, 3 vehicles were washed away by the flood, including casualties. Chairman of one of the council areas affected by the natural disaster also paid an assessment visit to the area to empathize with the people of the affected communities. The rain started about 2 a.m. all through the night till 12 p.m. on Friday, causing extensive damages to houses, building and infrastructure. We are hereby calling on both Niger State government and the federal government to intervene as a matter of urgency. I've been living in this community for almost 7 years. I have not seen a thing like this. The incident is very devastating. Meanwhile, staff of the State Management Emergency Agency and other volunteers are already on ground to ascertain the number of casualties and level of destruction. In Yobusa, Kabir Abdullahi, NTA News.
To address cases of load rejection by the electricity distribution companies, federal government says $800 million will be released for construction of new substations and distribution networks under the Presidential Power Initiative. Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu says the money will ensure the construction of substations for Lot 2 substations and distribution lines for Lot 3 at the cost of $400 million each. The Power Minister, who is on facility tour of a power company in China, explains that Lot 2 of the project covers Benin, Port Harcourt and Enugu distribution companies. Franchise areas, while Lot 3 covers Abuja, Kaduna, Jos and Kano distribution companies' franchise areas. Industry record shows that recently the distribution companies rejected 1,400 megawatts of power. The developments, which the Power Minister laments, more so as federal government sustains commitment to ramp up a generation to 6,000 megawatts by December this year. Meanwhile, Governor Sanwo-Olu awards 10 million naira grants to youth entrepreneurs. Details with Hingino in Lagos. Hingino.
Initiative of the Lagos State Government for Youth have been awarded 10 million naira grants to boost their businesses. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu made the announcement at the closing of the 2024 International Youth Day organized by the State Ministry of Youth and Social Development. Joy Ken Ababoya reports.
A major feature of the 2024 International Youth Day celebration in Lagos is the Amplifier Business Clinic and Pitch Contest, designed to equip 100 entrepreneurs with tools, knowledge and resources needed to transform their entrepreneurial ideas into successful, sustainable enterprises. Announcing the 10 million naira grant for the 8 finalists, including the winner of the contest, who was awarded 2.5 million naira, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says the grant is an investment in the dreams of the beneficiaries. He says the state's investment in youth leadership programs was a strategic move that aligns with his administration's vision of expanding sustainable development, economic growth, and social stability, as well as harnessing demographic dividends.
Young energy, great creativity, and a willingness to learn are exactly what Lagos needs now for us to continue our path of progress and innovation.
For the Lagos State Commissioner for Youth and Social Development, Mobolaji Ogulende, the event culminated in the inauguration of the Technical Working Group on Youth Engagement, consisting of individuals from diverse technical expertise within the public and private sectors. The aim, he says, is to foster collaboration and partnership opportunities to enhance youth development.
I encourage all the youths here today, all the youths watching, all the youths in Lagos State to seize these opportunities, remain focused on their ambitions, and to continue to be the positive change agents that our society needs.
The week-long 2024 International Day of Youth was tagged From Clicks to Progress, Youth Digital Pathways for Sustainable Development. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abapoya, NTA News.
A new approach to trade unionism hinged on ensuring industrial harmony for economic growth is the best towards achieving the objective of improving the welfare of Nigerian workers. This is the focal point of the book Workers' Interests and Organizational Survival, written by National Vice President, Radio, Television and Theatre Arts Workers Union, Ratau Comrade Dare Durosimi. Joel Popola reports that the book launch is the major thrust of the training workshop of Southwest Zone, Ratau.
Change, they say, is the only thing that is constant in life, and the leadership of Ratau and members of the union gathered here from different chapters and media organizations in the zone are prepared to embrace the paradigm shift, which experts say starts with attitudinal change. The book, Workers' Interest and Organizational Survival, authored by the National Vice President of Ratau, Comrade Dare Durosimi, aligns with this narrative, providing a roadmap to responsible unionism and advocating a deviation from the combative experiences of the past. Let's put our hands together! The book, unveiled by the leadership of organized labor and other critical stakeholders, is a compendium of LD industrial relations.
The first 10 chapter talk about the basic responsibility of trade union. The second 10 chapter talk about the emerging new role of trade unionism. Trade unionists should talk more about not just salary increase. They should also talk about the well-being of their staff.
This very book give an insight into how you can engage your employer in a very peaceful and robust manner that it will not lead to rancor or disagreement or acrimony or strike.
The National Treasurer of Ratau, Adewale Akonde, and the discussants who illustrate the 166-page book say it has set an agenda for all the stakeholders and a template for increase in productivity.
Unions will not be in any organization where they work and earn a living and to want to kill the organization, but also contribute.
It is a symbiotic relationship. Yes, my interests must be protected. It owes on me as well to know that the organization that I'm working with will equally survive.
For all the comrades in attendance, the book will help organized labor operate in line with best practice. Lagos, Joel Ukbola, NTA News.
Those are the reports from Lagos. Fatima is standing by from Makurdi after the break.
And thanks for joining us in Makurdi. Some federal dilapidated projects in rural communities of Benue State may soon receive the required attention following the visit of House of Representative Committee on Rural Development to inspect federal projects. Elias Itia reports that the team is on an oversight function in the state.
The team from the National House of Representatives Standing Committee on Rural Development, who are in the state for an oversight function, met with the governor to intimate him on the essence of their visit. Chairman House Standing Committee on Rural Development, Marcus Onobu, explained that, in line with their statutory mandate, the delegation will carry out inspection of projects and make recommendations to the federal government for necessary actions.
Benue State is one of the states that houses most rural dwellers. So we have come to see things for ourselves. The areas that need the attention of the federal government, as a federal institution, we too are going to draw attention of the federal government to see how we can make Benue State a better place.
Governor Hyacinth earlier assured the team of maximum cooperation to enable them to realize their mandate. The governor noted that the exercise will put the government on its toes in doing the needful.
So when you visit to see what is said to be on the paper with what actually is on the ground, then your narrative will be told. When you expect something, you first of all inspect it. So if you want transparency, hard work, excellence, all these must be monitored, exercised, corrected before the end result.
The visit is also to check fraudulent and other sharp practices in the execution of projects. In Makurdi, Elias, Etiaf, NTA News.
Peaceful coexistence, community leaders as well as key stakeholders in Ukum local government area have commenced deliberations aimed at addressing the challenge of insecurity in the local government and its environs. Governor Hyacinth Alia, who attended the meeting, urged everyone to be sincere in bringing out facts and suggestions that will end the crisis in the area. Elias Itiaf again reports.
Kumu, Kasnala and local government areas that make up the Sankara axis has over the years experienced banditry attacks and other forms of criminality, leading to loss of thousands of lives and destruction of government and private property. It is to address the situation and bring back the glory of the erstwhile peaceful and commercial communities that the meeting of key actors was held at the instance of the Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Katsina, Most Reverend Isaac Dogu.
We know that whatever we say here, whatever we conclude here, will usher absolute, integral peace in Sankara land.
This is a big challenge thrown to you, sons and daughters of Sankara. You know everything about this. Just speak to the truth. Accept to restore the lost trust. And then every other thing you want to bring to bear will come to be. Be rest assured of this. From the side of government, I am willing 100% to ensure that peace returns to your hands.
Governor Hyacinth earlier at the end of the assembly expressed confidence that the deliberations were fruitful. The governor, who announced that the subsisting dusk to dawn curfew on restriction of movement in the axis has been reviewed to the hours of 10 p.m. and 5 a.m., also disclosed that the Commission of Inquiry into the Ukum unrest has been expanded to cover the entire Sankara axis.
By the timelines we have all agreed and given, I will be getting back quite soon to take the next step. But the immediate thing that I'm requiring all the stakeholders to do and enforce is there should be no gunshots, there should be no kidnapping, and there should be no banditry of any form at all.
He urged all stakeholders to continue with frantic negotiations with all groups to return peace to the axis. From Katsina local government area, Elias Etiaf, NTA News.
And that report concludes our contributions from Makudi. It's now back to Olajide in Abuja.
Many thanks, Fatima. And moving on now to security. The Minister of State for Defense, Bello Mohammed Matawali, says no hidden place for bandits and terrorists as increased and consistent operations is being carried out by the Nigerian Armed Forces to flush them out and destroy their bases. In a statement, the Director of Information and Public Relations of the Ministry, Henshaw Ogabeke, says the Minister expresses sadness over bandit activities in Sokoto, Katsina, Zamfara, Kebbi states and environs, and she assures the entire Northwest region that the security forces will not leave any stone unturned to restore peace in the area. Consequently, the Minister of State will lead the Chief of Defense Staff and other military chiefs to Sokoto as part of an intensified effort by the federal government to rid the Northwest of the menace of banditry, kidnapping and terrorism. This strategic move underscores the unwavering commitment of government to restoring peace and security in the region. While committing to ensuring Biloturiji and his bandit gang are flushed out, the minister says it is unacceptable that these criminals are ridiculing the efforts of the military by circulating videos of a Nigerian military armored vehicle that was stuck in a waterlogged area where the officers were asked to withdraw to avoid being ambushed. In addition, Matawali also called on the people of the zone to remain vigilant and cooperate with the security forces, reiterating the federal government's resolve to protect the lives and property of all Nigerians, emphasizing that the security and well-being of the people remains the government's top priority. The Headquarters Logistics Command, Nigerian Navy Ogara Delta State, has conducted a range classification and arm firing exercise at the 4th Brigade of the Nigerian Army in Benin, Edo State. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports on the implication of the exercise and the renewed drive by the military to further secure the nation.
Marksmanship is a critical component in the military and other security agencies, as it enhances the ability of personnel to attack the enemy position fast with precision. This 3-day range classification and armed firing exercise is aimed at sharpening the officers and ratings proficiency in weapon handling, identify areas for improvement, and an avenue to test run different arms to enhance effective deployment.
Brigade Garrison
The flag officer commanding Nigerian Navy Logistic Command Ogara says constant training eliminates troops bleeding during operations.
During the range classification, we'll be able to identify some of our personnel that have these enhanced skills, marksmanship skills, that we could use for, 1 or 2 operations. So when we carry out this range classification exercise, we identify some of the weapons that, have problems jamming during the firings and clear them.
And to the participants,
32 officers and 150 ratings participated in the exercise that seeks to promote teamwork, a core value in the Nigerian Armed Forces operations. Ismail Musa.
The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, has ordered immediate investigation into a disturbing video report on social media alleging that inmates at Custodial Center in Calabar are being subjected to inhuman treatment, including being served poorly cooked beans as breakfast. A statement from the Ministry of Interior indicates that the ministers view these incidents as a serious breach of the standards of care and dignity to which inmates are entitled, and has directed a comprehensive and urgent investigation into the matter, vowing to hold persons responsible accountable. Tunji-Ojo warns that any lapses in the quality of food, sanitation and welfare of inmates will not be tolerated, adding that the service must ensure inmates are treated with the dignity and respect they deserve. The minister promises that the investigation will be made public and necessary disciplinary actions will be taken. Plateau State Gender and Equal Opportunities Commission says it has so far received 34 cases of gender-based violence, with commitment to ensuring that such cases are reduced to the barest in the state. Ijoma Ozomena reports.
One of the major mandates of the Plateau State Gender and Equal Opportunities Commission is to ensure that all forms of gender-based violence are eliminated in the state. The Commission, since inception, has received more than 30 cases of gender-based violence, such as battery, abandonment of parental responsibility, child labor, and trafficking, as well as forced prostitution. Other criminal cases range from rape and the syndrome of selling children.
Able to track with the Ministry of Women Affairs to track children of Plateau that were sold outrightly to orphanages in Abuja and return them. Our girls today are in the news, being trafficked to areas like Ghana. Some are in Lagos, some are in different cities in the name of house help syndrome. That is another area that we are currently researching and trusting that we will push it to His Excellency to probably make it an executive order to outlaw issue of house help syndrome.
Plateau State, according to the Commission, ranks 4th in the cases of child labor.
We've confirmed through our investigations that these ladies travel to sell out the children outrightly. We've made a lot of arrests, and they are currently at the state CID. Some of them have started, appearing in courts for different levels of prosecution.
To curb the trend, the Commission is engaging strategic partners through increased awareness and sensitization. In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
And time now to join Jenny in Port Harcourt for more on Nationwide. Jenny?
Thank you very much, Olajide. Concern about the challenges confronting nations, Nigeria inclusive, and with the political instability in Rivers State, women groups have embarked on statewide prayers and worship for peace and stability in Rivers State and the country. Ostinachi Samuel reports.
They are women drawn from the 23 local government areas of Rivers State, non-indigenous and across religious and party lines. They are concerned about the happenings in the state, and they believe that when women pray, God answers. Some women leaders who interacted with NTA News crew on the significance of this convergence said it's not just a gathering of women, but a movement that builds unity among women across boards in Rivers State.
And this Rivers Women Unite for SIM is a gathering, is the largest gathering of women across the state. We all come together to pray for our governor in different languages, in different religions. We all pray to one God for the sake of our governor and his team.
God is one. Let everybody, there's no religion that say fight or kill. Help your neighbors if you can.
And since we have started this prayer in Rivers State, there is peace. There is unity in this government.
Professor Rosalind Konye is among the many women that believe that the emergence of Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the sustainability of his administration is to a large extent connected to the daily prayers of the women.
Siminalayi is unstoppable because he's a governor appointed by God, and we are all behind him. That is why you see the women praying all the time.
Women have in the last few days extended the movement to the 23 local government areas. The monthly prayer, praise and thanksgiving meeting of the women features special prayers for Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his administration, as well as President Bola Tinubu, for God's wisdom to pilot the affairs of governance in Rivers State and Nigeria. In Port Harcourt, Osinachi Samuel, NTA News.
The latest policy on entrance into higher institutions in Nigeria being pegged on 18 years and above is eliciting mixed reactions in Rivers State, while the federal government latest stance on invalidating certificates backed from some institutions in Togo and Benin Republic is being commended, however, with reservations by some affected students. Joy Uzo reports.
The Nigerian educational system has evolved over time with evidence of reversed policies intended to sanitize, strengthen and equip the sector to be at par with developed countries by virtue of end products who know and can defend their qualifications.
So for instance, if we take the post-UTME test that universities in Nigeria were conducting, that was to eliminate cases of where youngsters will come out from schools with fantastic results, and then by the time they go through the university or polytechnic process after 2-3 years, you will discover that they were deficient in areas that ordinarily their results say they ought to have been good in.
These oversight interventions recently saw the banning of students under the age of 18 from sitting for WAEC, NECO and JAMB, as well as the invalidation of certificates gotten from some poorly accredited schools in Togo and Benin Republic. While the former is receiving mixed reactions, the latter, however, saw a large chunk of affected candidates bemoaning their fates.
For you to say a child should start from the age of 18 before he or she goes to write WAEC, what if the person is going to study law or any of these professional courses, which takes almost 7 years?
If they are coming up with such a policy, within the time, if it is 1 year interval between the 16 and 18 years, you have to make sure that these children are having something doing.
President of Nigeria, we need help. We have toiled in that Benin Republic so much. We have tried to study hard so that we can come out with good certificates.
President, please come to our aid. That is what we need.
Before I started this scholarship, I personally went to the Ministry of Education, Abuja, to verify if ESN is accredited, number one. Number two, will the student be able to do NYSC in Nigeria? And all this was confirmed positive before I even paid the first school fees.
Perhaps a reconsideration by the federal government by way of dialogue and restitution will go a long way to alleviate their pain. In Port Harcourt, Joy Uzo, NTA News.
And that's it from Port Harcourt. Mohammed Umar in our Kaduna Center will be up next after this break.
The federal government says it is committed to strengthen bilateral ties with Benin Republic and other African countries to create a conducive business climate for traders along the corridor. The Controller General Nigerian Customs Service Bashir Adewale disclosed this during the official inauguration of Kano Trade Office of Samia Dry Port in Kebbi State. Habib Hussain's report is hereby presented by Abdullahi Mustafa.
Objectives of setting up Samia Dry Port and the Kano Trade Office in particular are to support, facilitate and ease ways of doing business for Kano businessmen in Benin Republic. Using state-of-the-art equipment, the office will provide ICT-driven solutions for proper documentation and tracking of goods. Nigeria's Comptroller General of Customs Service and his Benin Republic counterpart, both represented, see the agreement as a way of fostering economic growth and strengthening existing bilateral relations between citizens of the two countries.
This office is very good because it's a contact point for all our importers from Benin Republic. So that when they come, they have any complaint, they can come here and lay their complaint, and the complaint will be directed to Benin. At the end of the day, the whole aim is to facilitate trade, so that to reduce the time frame of trade transactions. And by the grace of God, this will help Kano. Kano being the commercial city of northern Nigeria, by the grace of God, things will move very fine. And the movement of the goods from Samia to this place will be faster, inshallah.
Kano is the center of the affairs of the trade in the north of Nigeria. So we want this place to be the center of the information of everybody who want to know how to do the formalities in the port of Cotonou.
It is expected that the inauguration of this office in Kano will open up more opportunities for businessmen in the state and the northern part of the country.
In an effort to provide affordable housing for low-income earners in Kaduna State, the state government, in collaboration with private developers, has commenced the construction of over 200 housing units in Kamazo, Millennium City, an additional 2,000 in different locations across the state. The state deputy governor, Hadiza Balarabe, led the foundation for the building of these houses in Kaduna State. These 2.6 hectares of land in Kamazo, Millennium City, was allocated by the Kaduna State government for the construction of the housing units, along with other essential infrastructures such as schools, hospitals, green spaces and roads.
It's a comprehensive development in partnership with Kaduna State government themselves. I'm delighted to say this is the second of its type. We have previously done 28 hectares in Millennium City Phase 1 and Phase 2 with the Kaduna State government. We are also developing close to 3,000 shops in the redevelopment of Kasombachi with Kaduna Market Development Management Company.
During the groundbreaking ceremony, the Deputy Governor emphasized the state's commitment to providing affordable housing for all segments of the population in Kaduna State.
We believe that access to decent housing is a fundamental human right, and we are determined to ensure that every citizen of Kaduna State has a roof over his head.
By establishing, a housing estate of this magnitude, it means, bringing business into our economy here in the state, and also providing shelter to the teeming population of Kaduna State.
The stakeholders believe that the construction of these housing units will significantly contribute to reducing the housing deficit in the state. In Kaduna. And that's our contributions from Kaduna. Olajide Bello will take it off here from our Abuja. And thank you very much for watching.
Many thanks, Mohammed, for your contributions. Moving on, the federal government is collaborating with state commissioners for youth to provide job opportunities to millions of Nigerian youth towards promoting long-term investment initiatives for their future development. Minister of Youth Development, Jamila Ibrahim, said this during a consultative meeting with the Commissioners of Youth Development from the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja. Olayin Kauju reports.
This meeting is to engage with youth commissioners across the country as well as build synergy in line with federal government's initiatives such as Youth Investment Fund, Presidential Initiative for Youth Enterprise Clusters, and the ongoing review of the National Youth Policy that profile local solutions to national challenges. With 4 strategic areas of governance, skills, cultural and behavioral change, and human capital development at the heart of the meeting, Minister of Youth Development says to ensure youth benefit from the 110 billion naira Youth Investment Fund, mechanisms are already in place.
Robust monitoring and evaluation framework has been designed, and to ensure that loan recovery and, of course, risk management using clusters, we will be able to manage the risk that come with giving out facilities to young people. With the rate of recovery being very low.
For the commissioners, government sustainability approach of accountability, transparency, and monitoring are necessary.
One is all about inclusiveness, and number 2 is all about delivering the mandate to the entire youth.
Youth empowerment is important. When we empower our youth, we empower the nation.
The meeting also observed that out of the 12 billion naira Youth Investment Fund released by previous administration for youth empowerment, only 150 million naira have so far been recovered from beneficiaries. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
Engineers in the country are on the verge of launching innovation to meet specific demands across sectors of the economy. This was revealed at a student project competition by Committee of Deans in Engineering and Technology of Nigerian Universities in Abuja. Ayodeji Makinde reports.
These are the best engineering students from 7 different hubs comprising Lagos and the 6 geopolitical zones. They are here for the best of the best challenge with technological innovation subject to the approval of the judges. The main idea is to consistently have a platform where undergraduates can express their creativity under the guide and mentorship of experienced instructors.
A redesign of the traditional mobility aids used by people with lower limb disabilities. My project aims to address discomfort, safety issues and hygiene issues.
My project uses waste in the environment to convert it into a more reliable source to use for construction industries.
We are putting the sense of entrepreneurship in them at this early stage of their own career.
Trying to see which of these projects can really be promoted for commercialization and also that can be put forward for a form of global competition.
The students that we have in our respective institutions right now are students that have creative minds. Come to think about when we were in universities and the kind of programs we ran and the students who are currently here now, you'll see that there is a lot of difference in terms of upskilling.
Before the main presentation of projects, broad areas of interest affecting full operationalization of engineering practices were discussed as efforts to reactivate engineering residency program intensify at a time organized engineering in the country is leading advocacy for informal practitioners to be absorbed in a regulatory framework. In Abuja, Ayodeji Makinde, NTA News.
The Rotary Club of Garki marked the investiture ceremony of Rotarian Joachim Beziaka as the 36th president of the chapter. Geniala Nicholas reports that the event also created an opportunity for the club to inaugurate the 2024-2025 set of the Board of Directors in Abuja.
Rotary Club of Garki marked a major milestone with the investiture of its 36th president, amidst a grand celebration at the Rotary Center and Park in Abuja. The occasion also welcomed new members to the club, symbolizing the continuation of its noble mission.
As a new inductee, I feel renewed in my commitment to service. Service to humanity is a continuous exercise.
What more can you do but to serve God and humanity in the little corner where you find yourself?
Yeah, for me, Rotary has given the platform to make friends for life.
Rotary has a strategic plan that goes beyond 1 year. So the strategic plan from one president to the other, it can be for 5 years. Build their capacity, support the widows, promote basic education and literacy.
Despite the merriment, the underlying dedication to charity and community development remains paramount as attendees depart with renewed hope and commitment to supporting the new president's initiatives towards creating sustainable development. In Abuja, Juliana Nicholas, NTA News.
Now let's join Suleiman Musa for Sport Update.
Let's begin with football, as the opening game of the 2024-2025 Nigerian Premier Football League (NPFL) between Rangers International and El Kalemi Warriors ended in a stalemate on Saturday. The game, which was played at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium in Enugu, failed to provide goals to herald a new campaign. The defending champions, who have not conceded in their last 9 home league meetings against El Kalemi Warriors prior to the fixture, were matched by the resilient side. Other fixtures for the week 1 will take center stage in the first weekend of September across different centers. To tennis, Iga Swiatek said her brief chat with tennis great Serena Williams before her game against Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova gave her a positive kick for her dominant third-round victory. Poland Swiatek, who trumped in New York in 2022, did not face a single break point as she defeated the Russian 6-4, 6-2 at the Atoash Stadium. The top seed was seen talking with 23-time Grand Slam champion Williams in the players' gym before the match. She will next meet Ludmila Samsonova in the 4th round after the Russian 16th seed has breezed past American Aisling Kruger in 62 minutes, winning 6-1, 6-1. Meanwhile, in the men's category, 5th seed Daniil Medvedev breezed past Italian Flavio Caboli 6-3, 6-4, 6-3 to move into the 4th round of the US Open as the 2021 champion stepped up his bid to capture a 3rd Grand Slam title. The Russian, who is the only New York champion, left in the men's draw following the stunning exits of Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz in the first week, was pleased to avoid the US Open trapdoor. And finally, on a side note, ex-Ivory Coast international Son Bamba has died at the age of 39. The former Ivory Coast centre-back, who began his career with Paris Saint-Germain and also played for Dunfermline and Middlesbrough, was part of Cardiff side who won promotion to Premier League in 2018. He overcame non-Hodgkin lymphoma in 2021 during his playing days at Cardiff and had been working at Turkey club Adanaspor. With Sport Update, Suleiman Musa, NTA News.
And that's it on Nationwide. Many thanks for being a part of it. I am Olajide Bello.